You're still watching Ways. Now, each year on National Scrabble Day, April 13th recognizes a game played around the world, originally named Lexicook. Now and then crisscross words, Alfred Mosher Bott eventually settled on the name Scrabble. The mature artist and unemployed architect developed the word game in the midst of the Depression. Still, it wasn't until 1948 a final name change and a trademark that Bott finally began to produce the game. Scrabble is played with 2 or 4 players, or 2 to 4 players, who score points by forming words from individual lettered tiles on a game board marked with a 15 by 15 grid. So, National Scrabble Day to all the Scrabble lovers.
Yeah. Just reminded me of
our board game tournament. I can't wait for us to resume it. All right, Nama, what did you find for us in the news?
Oh, well, unfortunately, I have sad news again today. There was a massive flood in South Africa, Durban to be precise, and the president, Ramaphosa, has pledged to support the death toll as it hits 259 people, right? So the story says that residents salvaged the remains of what used to be the United Methodist Church of South Africa in Claremont near Durban on today, actually, following the very heavy rains that left 4 children dead in the area. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa pledged to support the victims of the recent flood in coastal province of KwaZulu-Natal in Durban, following the heavy rain that killed now 259 people, displaced dozens, swept away roads, disrupted shipping, and caused general catastrophe with enormous proportions. The sad thing is that about 6,000 homes have been affected, the damage. And this is very sad because just recently in July, there were riots and general unrest in the same area that left over 350 people dead. And now they're suffering this situation. In fact, the 4 children that died were actually from one home.
Oh my
God.
God.
A wall collapsed on 4 of them and
wow.
they died. So it's really traumatizing, but it's a good thing that the president was able to come out and give a statement, reach out to the families that were affected. Very, very commendable. It's good to see our leaders have the human angle
and I also just want to quickly add,
they do.
Climate
to show
change,
concern because of all of that. Climate change
is real,
causing a lot of damage.
So we just need to everybody just do your part, right? Back home here in Nigeria, I still cringe when I see people throw plastics, into the roads.
The gutters.
I mean, just a tiny downpour
the floods
of rain.
Have been
I was in traffic for 5 hours on Saturday just because of the rain. So it's serious. So my story, I actually have 2 stories I quickly want to talk about. It was a post I saw on the president's daughter, Zahra Buhari-Indimi, that shared a post that says, criticism without offering viable solutions and alternatives, for me, is just noise. When I saw this post, I said, it's easy for you to say, right? Because
you're on the other side.
You're on the other side. That's one hand. I am a firm believer, rather, of logic over emotions and all of that. But how would you expect people to be logical, people to think solution, when you haven't provided, right, a learning ground for people to actually go and get their minds developed? Where is the biggest place where minds are being developed? Educational sector.
Who is going to provide the solutions?
How well is our educational sector today? It is horrible. It's in shambles, right? So if you are talking about people that are just making noise and not contributing positively, like bringing solutions to the problem, you should understand that it is because, again, we have also created the crop of people that we have today. Nigerians are very used to complaining, and I agree with her. But the truth is that we will pin it down on the leadership that we've had over the years. I have not taken education seriously. So whilst you're talking about that, go back to your father and go back to the people in leadership that have your ear, that you have their ears, and tell them to fix the educational sector. ASUL is still on strike. There's a lot going on. So
people have not been paid.
It's not just for you to come out and say people are making noise. That was very insensitive of you. All right, so I was going to take another quick story because it's a follow-up on what we had talked about yesterday. a tennis player. I can't remember her name now. Let me quickly get her name. A tennis player that came out to say that yes, she recounted Funke Oshonaike, right? She's a table tennis star. She recounted her ordeal in the hands of two abusive partners. Now, according to her, you know, that she alleged that she was a victim of domestic violence in two relationships. Right, Oshonaike noted that she was so frustrated to a point that she actually contemplated killing one of the abusers. Right, you know, she was now advising people that please, if you're in an abusive relationship, flee. Why I took this story in particular, it just made me wonder the link. So it's not so much of having, and it still ties back to what Zahra Buhari was saying and what I was saying. See, Unoma, somebody cannot come and give you a handout now, 5K, vote for me and you vote. Why? Your mind is enlightened, right? So even in the midst of being a superstar in the tennis world,
she was still
subject to
a lot of.
So this thing
abuse.
is a mind game.
Absolutely.
It has never been a physical thing. It's not because you're earning a salary. It's a big issue, right? And so when you see abusive situations, you know, what I want to just leave on before we bring in our conversation, when you see abusive situations, there's always a tendency of a repeat. It will always repeat itself. It will replicate itself, you know, because why? It is still, it's almost like
to attract.
Yes, it's almost like a stamp on your forehead that I am ready to be, I'm available to be abused. That's how it is.
That you're not even conscious
You're not even conscious of. So that's why it was very important for us to have the conversation today that we're having on how to break that circle. Because right now, some children have been programmed. They've been groomed to be abusers. So how do we break it? How do we help those children, you know, come out of those situations and become better citizens? That's the conversation we're going to be having. But we'll do that right after the break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.